All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. And if you're a first timer, I'm so glad you are here. Hey, it has been a crazy, crazy summer, a wild ride, you might say. And quite frankly, I can't believe we're in mid-July already. This is absolutely insane how fast time is flying. We are now hitting triple digits. And when I say triple digits, I don't mean just over 100 here in Arizona, but record temperatures of 118 in Phoenix, and it is god awful hot. That's all I can say. It is just hot. Once you hit 110 and above, it's hot. There's no around it. There's no, oh, it's a better day at 115, or it's not too bad at 111. It's just 110 and up, it's just hot. So you try to find places to go. The problem is, everywhere around here you go, what do? They crank the AC. So you're like, do I bring a sweatshirt? Yes, you always bring a sweatshirt, but it's 110 out. That's all right, because wherever you go, you're going to be freezing. And so those of you that have been following me, I appreciate that. I really do. I have been working at this podcast for 4.5 years, and every week, barring vacations or holidays, I have been on, and I have tried to just give you a little glimpse of my life in hopes that it will inspire, motivate, or empower you to do the things you need to do and to show you what is possible with basically a lot of it is mindset. And today is definitely one of those days where if you've been following me, like I said, you may have noticed on social media all the posts since end of May that I was trying to do this Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine competition. It was to get on the cover and to do a spread on one of their magazines and also to win $20,000. Didn't really think it through about being on the cover. I really don't wear clothes that most of the girls on the cover of those magazines wear. But I figured if I won, I would stick to my guns and dress the appropriate way for me and my family and the way I've raised my kids and how a woman should dress in my mind and how I would dress. But what I really wanted to do was to show the world that amputees could be healthy, could be physically fit, could actually make a difference in that realm of mainstream physical fitness. And I'm really bummed that I'm out. The winner will be announced, I think, this Thursday. I made it through the semifinals, 6th place. I was 14 people away from winning. So I did well, but I'm a competitor, and that wasn't good enough. The other aspect of it was $20,000, and that money, I was planning on donating all of it to 2 nonprofits that I love dearly, Arizona Foothills 911, which basically is a lot to do with our first responders and keeping our community safe, especially from the fires, and we've had a ton this year. The other one is Limbs for Humanity, which is actually my prosthetists who have started a nonprofit just recently to help those that really cannot afford, do not have the means or the funds, and those like in Mexico where there really isn't any prosthetists, but there is a rampant problem of being amputated because of diabetes. And so they go and they help out and bring limbs to those that have literally been, for years, been using crutches to get around and do their jobs to make sure they can make ends meet for their family. So really great people. So check them out. I didn't win, so they didn't get the money, so they could use donations. And if you're an amputee and you're not using parts to your leg, please, please, please reach out to me or them or the Limb Center, which is their day job, and let them know you have parts that you aren't using anymore. And I know they would take them as a donation, and I believe there's a write-off for that. So anyways, that is my shtick, and that's why I did the competition, truly, just to make a difference, to kind of lead a charge for us middle-aged women amputees especially. That is my demographic, and I speak to that. Can't speak to you if you're a male. I can't speak to you if you're below knee. And quite frankly, what works for me as an above knee doesn't work for everybody. So I always preface my podcast with that. This is my personal journey. You have to find what works for you. But I will give you insight, and maybe that will help you navigate a little bit better. So this week, Like I said, I came up with a topic that I think is extremely important and definitely hits home after what I went through for like 6 weeks of trying to promote myself and get people to vote for me. And that is, I've called this podcast Launch. And the reason for it, and really, I love the idea because I actually was talking to Coach Dar, who wrote the book, The Art of Bouncing Back. And it is definitely something that she and I talked about on my podcast a while back after her book came out. And it is really an important concept that needs to be reiterated. And it happens a lot. For those of us that are amputees and just people in life in general, we all go through hard knocks, moments that want to knock us down and take us out of the game of life, take the wind out of our sails. And if you're a Christian and you believe, it's like the devil trying to chip away at your armor. Whatever it is that you see it as, we all go through it. And as an amputee, you can imagine there are many times where we get shoved back. For instance, you might actually eventually get an infection. I've heard of amputees getting infections, not right away, but 4 years after being amputated, something is festering and it finally shows its head. And that is a big step back because a lot of times with that means they have to reopen you up, which means you're not in your socket anymore in your leg and you're not as mobile as you were. And then you have to go through all that rigmarole and get sealed back up and then start over again on the healing. It might be that you finally got a socket that's fitting and for about a week it feels great, and then you realize that your volume is changing and what you were doing, maybe hiking or getting out and being active, going to the gym, you can no longer do because your leg feels like it's falling off. And that's a setback, especially when you finally get into a good habit and a good routine. So what I want to impress upon you in the time I have here is the fact that even in the middle of something hard and tragic, a setback of whatever proportion, because each one of us deals with it, and each one of us will take certain setbacks differently, right? For me, realizing that there was no way I'd ever win this competition because I would not tempt my integrity or change what I believed in to win at all costs. I won't. I wanted my integrity intact and win with integrity. And if I can't win with integrity, then I'm just not going to win. And as much as I kept telling myself that, I kept getting chipped away at, like, I can get you in first. I can get you in first if you buy your votes here. And that was a constant bombardment. And I feel like, gosh, if I had just done that, I might have won. And then those people would have gotten their money. But at what cost? And my integrity is more important than that. But to tell you that the 4th of July, when I realized at 6 o'clock that night or 7 o'clock that night that I wouldn't win, sucked. It took the wind out of my sails. I kept it together because I had family around and we were enjoying our evening. But the next day, it all rushed over me and I realized how hard I had worked, how stressed I was, and all the time I spent just trying to make it as far as I did with your help. And it finally just took the wind out of my sails enough to I crumbled. But what I have learned after finally having the courage and the desire to actually get on and record one more post with me telling you that I didn't win, the feedback I got was incredible. And I started realizing that this is what happens in life. We work really hard for something we think is the right move, what we want in life. But we all know that there is a greater plan. And like I said, I'm a believer. I have faith that I am here for a reason and I need to live up to that reason. And what I found was it wasn't about winning this competition, getting the money to the people that needed it, and being on the cover to show the world that amputees can do it too. What it did mean was that my hard work and my desire to win with integrity and to push my limits as an amputee, and at my age and trying to be a housewife and a mother, that it inspired people. And I don't take that lightly. One person, all it took was one person to write, "You didn't fail us. You actually showed us that we can do more." And whew, that filled my heart up so much. Just that one person's comment. And then they started coming and people were DMing me and everything, just letting me know they saw me and they are excited about what they can do now and that they know the sky is the limit. That, my friends, is the launch. The setback, think of a wrist rocket. When you were growing up, did you ever slingshots, right? You put it on your wrist, you put rocks or whatever, God help us that we actually did that, and you'd pull back and you'd snap it out, right? And it would launch that. Think David and Goliath with the sling and the rock. That is the launch I'm talking about. That pull back is those steps backwards, the stress, right? There has to be stress on that wrist rocket, that launch, right? To be launched, you have to have stress. You have to have resistance to get that energy. And then when that stress is released, when that negative a moment is let go of, the things that come next, you need to prepare for. It's the idea of when one door closes, another one opens. But I love the idea of being launched forward. When we have to take a step back, when we're forced to take a step back, when something knocks us down and we don't feel like we can go forward anymore, watch and be prepared for something amazing to happen in your life. And I am literally a walking testament to that. I feel like every time I feel like that was the end of it, oh my God, my world just crumbled. Oh, what was me, right? And I get wrapped up in my little tiny one-dimensional view. I miss everything that's going to happen around me. But I have not yet been failed at the launch. There has always been something that picks me up and shoves me forward, thrusts me into something bigger, better, more meaningful, with more purpose than anything I could have ever dreamt of. So today, when you feel like you've been knocked down, pushed aside, shoved under the water, and you feel like you just can't do anymore, I want you to prepare your body, your mind, and your heart for what is to come, because it is going to be a launch and it will be big. And yeah, sometimes that pullback, those step backs feel like they're gargantuan and they might take not a day or 2 days. It might take a week, a month of the stress pulling you away from the goals you had set. But just watch and see what happens when you get launched forward. And I want you to be prepared for that, because when we get focused on the negative, when we start seeing only the things we've lost, and we are seeing the people that are taken out of our life for one reason or another, and sometimes you feel like you're to blame or you can't believe it's happened to you, just watch how life, the universe, God works in creating a path you could never have imagined for yourself, and enjoy it, because it will be something great. Just as quickly as you feel like you've been stressed out and pushed back and you can't do it anymore, you're going to find yourself again. And again, it's the idea of valleys and mountaintops, right? We can't be in a valley forever in our life, as much as we also cannot be at a mountaintop every moment of our life. You can't enjoy life if everything is always perfect, status quo, and on top. We need those valleys. We need those pullbacks, those stressors, and those setbacks, and those moments where we're shoved down and told it to be quiet and be still, and this isn't for you, so that we can be launched into greatness. And so literally right before I got on, I had another moment where not just that competition showed me that path, but not till after I was through it. Okay, mind you, I did not know this as I was in the middle of it. I tried to tell myself, right, that mental self-talk is very important, that something good will come of this. I just know it. Something good will come of this. I don't know what it is yet. I can't see it yet. But my brain was win, win, win. Push, push, push. You've got to do this. You can do this. You promised these people you'd bring that money home. You want that money for them. And that's when I said I feel like I failed people, because a lot of you believed in me. You voted every day. You set an alarm on your phone. People were telling me they had alarms going off so that every day they would remember to vote. And I can't thank you enough for those of you that did that, and for those of you that donated. For more votes, donated to the Be Positive Foundation so that maybe we could donate that money to bigger causes. I feel like I failed you, but in reality, once I was through it, I realized, one, I didn't want to win so badly that it was not a real win. There's no glory in cheating your way to the top. I also didn't want to win if it meant that all of my integrity was going to be thrown out the window, and that I didn't put my faith where my faith should be, and that was in what the real purpose was. And now that I'm out of it, now that my heart has healed mostly, I'm probably 90% there. I'm still a little mad about some of the situation, but now that I'm almost there and healing, I realized that the big picture was to get myself out in public to show people, especially amputees, what you are capable of doing, and never sell yourself short because you look different, or you have an issue, or you just do life differently. We all have a purpose here. We've just got to figure it out. And sometimes the direction we want to go, because we think that's where we're supposed to go, will actually open up doors and windows somewhere else that we could never see. So remember, the next time you are pulled out of your comfort zone, you are in the valley of some struggle, remember that with a valley comes a clear view on a mountaintop eventually, and you are being launched into something better. But you can't be launched forward without the stress of that pullback or that step back. So just remember that. Your call to action this week, to be active participants in your life. Don't just listen to my podcast, be active. The call to action is to prepare your heart and mind for the what if, the possibilities that you can't even in your head, cannot even fathom what good could come from the situation you're in right now, because there is something better, and you will see it, and it will come through, and it will be a fantastic launch. I promise you. So just remember, prepare your heart and mind and your body to keep moving forward despite the circumstances. That's something much greater you're being launched into, and be ready for it so that you can enjoy it with all your being. And let me know. I always say, let me know. Like, I get people that will comment every once in a while. Let me know what you're going through. Let me know what you get launched into. Tell me a time when what you're going through turned into something amazing that you never even saw coming. Those are the stories that I'm talking about. And as we go through this together, we start to see the commonality we all have. We all have our setbacks. We all feel like we're put under pressure. The stresses are there, and we struggle. And we struggle to see what good will come of it. But I promise you, good's going to come of it. So I am taking that bit of advice because I have another situation that happened today that I am choosing to see, because change is difficult, right? Change is scary. I've had something really good going on that with all my heart, I poured my heart and soul into over the last year and a half. And it was really, really fantastic in one moment, a blink, I would say, of the eye. And now there's some poison in the air. And I can't control how people speak to each other. I can't control how people perceive a comment to them. All I can do is my best. And I have to remember that because I'm a heart on my sleeve kind of person, and it really affects me. And I hold on to things that make me sad or stressed out. But I do know that this podcast was meant to happen, just like what's going on just today. I know that I'm going to be launching myself into something different, better, greater, more impactful, and more where my heart lies. So I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust and believe that the steps backwards are preparing me for the launch of something amazing that I can't even fathom right now. So I hope this helps you. I hope that you see something that you could use, a nugget of information that will help you get through the next day, week, maybe month, maybe even a year. But just remember, you're being prepared to be launched. So when you are in a valley and you don't know what to do and you're stressed out, you are getting set for the launch of a lifetime. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself so you can take it all in all its glory. And as always, you have all my love. Thank you again for all your support. Please share this podcast with someone who might need it, who might benefit from some positivity. I'm just trying to spread positivity. I get nothing out of this except a little bit of time to talk to myself and hoping that this made an impact on you. And if it did, you know what? The thing you can do to help me, let me know it made an impact on your life. And reach out to me on Instagram, on Facebook. You've got my number. It's there. And you can also comment on the podcast. So, as always, be healthy, be happy.